If you think foreplay is just about physical touch, you've already missed the part that drives him wild. What really makes a man never want it to end starts way before your hands even meet. And once you learn how to do this, he won't just crave your body, he'll crave the feeling of being with you. Most people think foreplay starts when the clothes start coming off, but that's actually the final act of something that began long before. Real foreplay doesn't start with touch, it starts with tension, with subtle signals, with the energy between two people building like a slow burn. If you want a man to never want it to end, you have to understand that what turns him on the most isn't physical at first, it's psychological. The mind is where all desire begins. It's where anticipation simmers, where fantasies form, and where emotional intimacy lays the foundation for explosive chemistry. When a man feels desired, not just touched, when he feels emotionally connected, not just physically teased, you unlock something deeper than attraction. You trigger obsession. So many women have been made to believe that being sexy means doing more. More skin, more moves, more noise. But what if being sexy is actually about being still sometimes, being present, being in control of your energy? The most unforgettable moments in foreplay aren't always when you're making a move. They're when you're holding eye contact, when you laugh mid-kiss, when you whisper something that makes him feel like the only man in the world. That's the part of foreplay most people miss. It's the invisible build-up, the emotional crescendo, the moment he realizes that this isn't just physical, it's personal. And once he feels that, everything changes. There's a difference between making a man feel turned on and making him feel chosen. Chosen is deeper, it's primal. When your energy tells him, I could be anywhere, but I'm here with you right now because I want you. He becomes addicted to your presence. He starts leaning in. He starts reading your signals. He starts craving the next moment, and the next, and the next. And here's the real secret. If you're inside your own head, worrying about how you look, or if you're doing it right, you miss the connection. But when you're fully in the moment, when you're playing, laughing, teasing, exploring, he's not just focused on what's happening. He's getting high off the experience of you. That's what he'll remember. That's what he'll keep coming back for. So much of great foreplay is invisible. It's in the way you move with intention, the way you touch without rushing, the way you let silence stretch until the tension becomes irresistible. When you understand that every glance, every breath, every pause is part of the experience, you stop trying to impress and start making him feel. Because when he feels connected to you on that deeper level, every second of foreplay becomes something he never wants to end. Confidence isn't about walking into a room and expecting everyone to look at you. It's about walking into a moment and not needing anyone to. That same energy shows up during foreplay. When you're confident in your body, your presence, your touch, it changes everything. A man can feel it without you saying a word. It's in how you kiss him, not rushed, not uncertain, but like you know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it. It's in the way you hold eye contact just a second longer than expected, or the way you guide his hand without hesitation. That quiet assurance is magnetic, and it pulls him in deeper than anything physical ever could. Most people assume that physical attraction alone is enough to create fire between two people, but the truth is, it's your energy, your vibe, that leaves the lasting impact. There's something incredibly sexy about someone who's comfortable in their skin, someone who doesn't seek permission to enjoy the moment, someone who doesn't apologize for wanting to be touched, or for taking control when the moment feels right. Confidence during foreplay doesn't mean being loud or aggressive. It means being sure. Sure of your own desires, sure of your body, sure of your worth. It's that kind of confidence that makes a man stop thinking about everything else in the world and start focusing completely on you. Not because you're doing the most, but because you're doing everything with intention. Every move becomes amplified when it comes from a place of certainty. The way you lean in, the way you love without holding back, the way you breathe slow and steady, like you have all the time in the world. When you carry confidence, you don't need to prove anything. You allow space for both of you to relax into the moment. And that calm, that steadiness is where the real connection is built. Men are drawn to women who are playful, present, and unapologetically themselves. When you give yourself permission to enjoy every second, not perform it, not rush it, but feel it, he senses that you're not just giving him your body, you're sharing your joy. That's rare. That's unforgettable. And that's what keeps him hooked. Because most people rush through foreplay like it's a checklist, but confidence allows you to stretch it out, to play with pace, to create a rhythm that's unique to the two of you. You're not just going through the motions, you're creating an experience that he'll replay in his head long after it's over, because it wasn't just hot, it was magnetic, all because you showed up as yourself, confident, alive, and unafraid to take up space. There's a kind of power in teasing that most people underestimate, not the kind that's flashy or dramatic, but the kind that lingers in the air and drives someone wild without even touching them. What makes foreplay unforgettable isn't how fast you move, but how much you can build anticipation without needing to rush. That's where presence becomes your secret weapon. When you're fully there, eyes locked, breathing steady, completely unhurried, you turn every second into a slow burn. It's not about doing more, it's about doing less, but with intention. You hold eye contact just a little longer than expected. You let your fingers trace instead of grab. You let the silence stretch just enough to build tension instead of trying to fill it. That restraint, that emotional tease makes him lean in, curious, wanting, needing more of you. Touch is important, but presence is everything. When you're mentally somewhere else trying to think about what to do next or worrying about what he's thinking, you miss the moment. But when you're grounded, playful, and confident, you become electric. The way you move, the way you breathe, the way your energy flows, it all becomes part of the game. Teasing isn't about denying him, it's about offering little pieces of the experience, slowly, intentionally. It's in the way you touch his chest lightly and then pull your hand away. It's in the way you kiss him softly, then pause, making him chase the next kiss. The tease becomes the foreplay, and when done right, it makes everything after feel 10 times more intense. Men remember the moments they had to wait for, the ones that built up slowly, where their mind was completely consumed by what might happen next. That's the magic of teasing with presence. It turns you into more than someone he's with physically. It turns you into an experience he can't get out of his head. When you create that kind of anticipation, the pleasure becomes mental as much as it is physical. He's not just enjoying your touch, he's captivated by your energy. And that energy is what makes the moment unforgettable. It's what makes him want it to last forever. When you take your time, when you enjoy the process, when you allow space for eye contact, for play, for the build-up, it shows him you're in control of the moment. And that confidence, that relaxed power, is deeply attractive. Most people rush to the end, but when you know the real power is in the build, you start using every second to your advantage. That's how you create moments that stay in his mind. That's how you make him wish foreplay never had to end. Because what you're offering isn't just physical pleasure, it's emotional intoxication, it's presence. And presence, when paired with desire, is unforgettable. Words during foreplay are like fuel to a fire. They can either light it up or let it burn out slowly. A man might be turned on by your body, but what keeps his mind spinning and his desire building is what you say in the moments between touch. Most people don't realize how powerful it is when a woman speaks with confidence, playfulness, and emotional intelligence in those intimate moments. It doesn't have to be a long speech or anything dramatic. It's in the subtle comments, the teasing remarks, the whisper of what you want or love about him. Those words sink deep into his mind and create a sense of connection that physical touch alone can't match. When you talk to him during foreplay, not just about what's happening, but how it makes you feel or what you're thinking, you give him a window into your desire. And that's electric. Imagine telling him what you were thinking about before you even got close to him, how long you've been waiting for this moment, or something you've noticed about him that turns you on. It's not just about compliments, it's about being specific, playful, and a little bold. Maybe you tell him he smells amazing, or the way his voice changes when he whispers drives you crazy. Maybe you say what you want to do next, or what you want him to do. Not as a command, but as an invitation. These words paint a picture in his mind, and suddenly, foreplay isn't just a moment in time. It's a scene he'll replay over and over again. Even your tone matters. A soft voice, a teasing whisper, a breathy laugh, they all carry more power than people realize. You don't have to sound rehearsed or seductive, just sound present, sound authentic. Say what you feel in that moment, even if it's just how much you're enjoying his touch or how good he makes you feel. That honesty, that emotional openness, mixed with the heat of desire, becomes the most intoxicating combination. It tells him he's doing something right. It makes him feel wanted, appreciated, even admired. And every man, no matter how confident he appears, craves that kind of validation, especially when it's real and raw and whispered in his ear when no one else is around. There's also power in playfulness, saying something unexpected, something funny, something flirty. That spark of humor in the middle of intimacy doesn't break the mood, it deepens it. It reminds him that you're not just a physical partner, you're a mental one too. You're in his head, you're making him feel, you're making him laugh while turning him on. That combination is rare. That's what sticks with him. That's what he starts to crave. Not just your body, but your words, your vibe, your energy. Because when you speak to him in that space between the physical and the emotional, you create something unforgettable. You give him something no one else can copy. There's a big difference between being present during foreplay and putting on a performance. A lot of people, often without even realizing it, fall into the trap of doing what they think they should be doing. Trying to look sexy, sound sexy, move the way they've seen in movies or heard about from someone else. But when you're performing, you're not connecting. You're acting for an audience that exists in your head. And the man you're with can sense that something feels off. He might not be able to explain it, but he knows when you're not really there. That's why being responsive is everything. A man doesn't want someone who's going through the motions. He wants someone who reacts honestly to what's happening in real time. Someone whose body language, sounds, and expressions are real. That's what turns him on more than anything else. When you're responsive, you're showing him that you're not just trying to impress, you're actually enjoying, and enjoyment is contagious. When he sees that what he's doing affects you, when he hears your breath catch or feels you pull him closer without thinking, it builds his confidence and draws him in deeper. You're creating a loop of intimacy where his actions affect you and your reactions affect him. That loop is powerful because it's alive, it's unique, it can't be scripted. And that's what keeps foreplay from becoming routine. That's what makes it feel new every single time. Your honest responses become the guide, the feedback, the reward. And more than that, they make him feel seen. When he notices how your body arches when he kisses your neck, or how your voice softens when he whispers something, he's not just turned on, he feels connected. Being responsive also means letting go of control a little. It means letting yourself feel without trying to manage how you look or sound. That vulnerability is where real intimacy begins. It's in those unguarded moments, the way your body tenses from a soft touch, the way you gasp without planning it, that a man feels like he's not just with you physically, but experiencing you emotionally. That's what he remembers. That's what makes you stand out. Because anyone can perform a moment, but not everyone can be in one. And when you're in it, when you're present, relaxed, and allowing yourself to respond naturally, the energy between you becomes undeniable. Some women feel pressure to be the perfect lover, to have all the right moves, to look flawless at every angle. But what most men crave isn't perfection, it's presence. It's the feeling that you're not thinking about how you look or what comes next, but that you're completely there with him. It's not about how you perform a kiss, it's how you feel during it. When you're laughing 1 minute, melting into him the next, it creates a roller coaster of emotions that he can't get enough of. And that responsiveness, that emotional honesty, is something he can't fake, can't force, and definitely can't forget. So the next time you're in that moment, forget about trying to impress, forget about what it should look like, and instead let go, let yourself feel, let yourself react, because the most powerful, unforgettable foreplay doesn't come from perfect choreography, it comes from genuine connection. When you're truly responsive, you give him something far more addictive than touch. You give him an experience that feels real, raw, and completely alive. And that's what makes him crave it again and again. There's a kind of myth floating around that says men always want to be the initiators, that they love to chase and lead every step of intimacy. But the truth is, as much as a man enjoys pursuing, what truly captivates him is when the woman he desires flips the script now and then and takes the lead. It's not about being dominant or overpowering. It's about showing him that you're not afraid to want him, to reach for him, to start something when the moment feels right. That kind of initiative is rare, and because it's rare, it sticks. It makes him feel chosen, not just desired. It tells him you're confident enough to follow your instincts, and that kind of energy is magnetic to a man on both a primal and emotional level. When you take the lead in a moment of foreplay, whether it's by pulling him in for a kiss, whispering what you want, or simply starting to touch him first, it completely shifts the dynamic. It tells him that you're not waiting for him to make things happen, you're with him in the moment, creating something together. Most men are used to carrying the pressure of initiating every intimate move. They don't always talk about it, but that expectation can get heavy. So when a woman takes initiative, even in the smallest way, it feels like a breath of fresh air. It's thrilling, it's validating, and more than anything, it's memorable. The magic happens when you take the lead with confidence and intention. It doesn't have to be bold or dramatic. Sometimes the softest, slowest moves are the most powerful. It might be the way you pull him closer by the waistband of his jeans. It might be the way you press your lips to his neck without asking. It could be a simple look that tells him you're about to start something he's not going to forget. And the beauty of taking the lead isn't just about surprising him, it's about expressing your own desire without apology. That's what creates real chemistry. When you stop overthinking and start showing what you feel, you give him permission to relax, to respond, to fall deeper into the moment. Many women hesitate to initiate because they fear looking too forward or too eager, But when it comes from a place of confidence, that energy reads as playful, sexy, and refreshing. It shows that you're not acting out of insecurity, but out of pure attraction and connection, and that's incredibly powerful. A man doesn't just want to feel needed, he wants to feel wanted. Not in a casual way, but in a way that's clear, intentional, and undeniable. When you lead, you create a memory. You create a moment where he feels like the only man in the world, and once he experiences that, he doesn't forget it. Taking the lead also means tuning into what you want and acting on it, not waiting for permission, not hesitating, but moving when it feels right. That kind of trust in yourself is sexy in the deepest way. It turns the whole experience from something he's driving to something you're both actively shaping. And that energy, that back and forth flow, is what creates intimacy that feels alive. He's not just following a script. He's being pulled into a story that you're co-creating together. A story that feels real, unpredictable, and completely electric. When you show him that you're not afraid to take the lead, even for a moment, you awaken a different kind of desire in him. One that's not just about the physical act, but about the emotional high of feeling seen, wanted, and fully engaged. And that's what makes the experience unforgettable. The secret to unforgettable foreplay isn't found in techniques, routines, or performances. It's found in connection. When you understand that foreplay begins in the mind, when you lead with confidence, tease with presence, speak with intention, respond with honesty, and occasionally take the lead yourself, you create an experience that touches far more than just the body. You make him feel desired, seen, and emotionally pulled in, and that's the kind of intimacy that doesn't just end in the bedroom. It lingers in his mind, sticks to his memory, and makes him crave you long after the moment is over. Because it wasn't just about pleasure, it was about energy, it was about how you made him feel. And once a man experiences that level of connection, he never wants it to end. And he never forgets who gave it to him.